when a candidate wants to be nominated for president, you
Yes.
have to. There are several criteria for qualification. Tax certificate,
Tax clearance, yes.
exactly. Being a citizen of the Gambia, a certain age, etc. Under the 2020 draft, the nominees for presidential candidates were supposed to submit a declaration of their assets to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Okay.
So that the Anti-Corruption Commission would have the resources to investigate and so on.
Yeah.
They have removed that.
So they've removed that.
Yes. So now you only submit your declaration of assets to the IEC, which is the normal, which is currently
which used to be done.
Yes.
But anti-corruption was meant to make it more efficient so that they can investigate and stuff like that.
More than more efficient, it was to be a higher level of transparency. That if you are presenting yourself to the Gambian people, you should have no fear of presenting your assets to the Anti-Corruption Commission.
I see. So now aspirants for the presidency don't have to declare their assets to the anti-corruption. It's only the normal go to IEC, which doesn't have anyway even the wherewithal to even check.
Exactly. Particularly during an election period, we all know it's quite there's a tight timelines. The procedure is very fast.
So the wishes of the Gambian people to scrutinize, their presidential aspirants more by subjecting them to appear or to submit, their assets to the anti-corruption commission is been removed now from what has been what is called in this constitution.
Exactly.
Wow.
Then to political parties.
Yeah, political parties.
One of the key conflicts that currently exist is transparency of political parties currently in Gambia. We have it in the elections bill that hasn't yet been passed, etc. Where do political parties get their money from? The obligation to publicly present their audited accounts. So in 2020, the draft constitution created the obligation for political parties to conduct themselves in a way that was consistent with the values of the constitution. They have removed that. In 2020, the draft required that political parties declare the sources of revenue. They have removed that. In 2020, the draft required that political parties publish their audited accounts. They have removed
that all.
In 2020, the draft prohibited political parties from receiving donations from non-Gambian citizens or people or companies outside Gambia. They have removed that.
So political parties now can have funding from any source. Even a crooked or a terrorist organization can donate to political parties whose leaders may end up becoming president, and there is no law down now to check them now.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. So
wow.
So this is one of the problems we have currently. The 2020 draft wanted to solve that problem, so political parties can become more transparent and also conduct themselves in a way that was democratic. They have removed that. So again, in my view, we are taking a step. Taking a step back.
Yeah, because political parties can get money from inducements from anybody now. There's no law now that can protect the people from letting that happening.
Exactly. So still on politics. The qualifications to run for president. They have made amendments to the qualification to run for president.
Interesting. I think under the existing laws, you have to have a secondary education. You have to be a Gambian citizen.
Yes, and many other things. Yes, above the age of 30 and so on. So in 2020, they introduced that you had to be resident in the Gambia for 3 years.
For 3 years. Okay.
They have removed that.
They've removed that.
Yes.
So anybody, I can come from United Kingdom, last week and be elected this week.
Yes.
Even if I have not lived here for 20 years.
Yes. Whether it's good or bad, I mean, that can be debated. But in the current draft, we felt that it was necessary
The 2020 draft said you must live here for at least 3 years.
Yes.
Because you would have ordinarily known and be au fait with local affairs thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
But now you don't have to live here even more than 1 month. You can fly in from London as long as you are a Gambian and get elected and become president.
Exactly.
Well, in a way, the people in the diaspora have been complaining that this dual citizenship, and have that been dealt with here, by the way?
There are some.
Yes, this dual citizenship business that you cannot be a cabinet minister if you hold nationalities from Britain or from or American or any other country other than the Gambia. Has that been dealt with here?
I think qualifications of the minister has been touched, but I don't think they changed. They changed that. Yes.
So people in the diaspora still cannot, or holding dual citizenship still cannot be president or minister.
So under the current draft, it is still a person has to be a citizen of the Gambia and has a qualification. So on 2020, after the CRC reviewed, they made the minimum that you had to have a tertiary education and be able to speak English very well. They have changed that you don't need a tertiary education to be minister. You just need a senior secondary school education.
Senior secondary school?
Yes.
How above that?
You just need senior secondary school.
Yes, if you get that.
Yes, so they have reduced the qualification.
They have reduced the qualification to become minister.
Yes. Also in 2020, we had said that you need not less than 8 years work experience. They have removed that. So the qualification for minister has
been dropped. Yeah. Somebody can graduate from Nusrat High School or Nusrat Senior Secondary today and become minister tomorrow.
Yes.
It doesn't need experience.
No.
It doesn't need any more tertiary education.
No.
Maybe somebody can argue that this is good because somebody can come from secondary school and be, a better minister than somebody who'd been to Oxford with a PhD.
Well, so again, it's up to the Gambian people. But in 2020, the CRC draft report had showed the justification why after surveying the country, speaking with the people, consulting, the majority of Gambians wanted to have some minimum qualification.
There is a need for higher education.
Exactly. So if you're going to change that, I think we
should consult the people.
Yes, and we deserve a memorandum to say what study they have done, or what the disadvantage was of that. Then, now still coming back to the presidential qualification, they have removed the need for 3 years residency.
Yes.
In 2020, we had also had there was a clause there that said the nominee should submit a medical report showing that they were of sound mind.
Oh,
that is removed.
That's removed.
Yes.
So anybody with Joe Biden like problems can be elected.
Well, that is what they propose. Exactly.
So we don't need to. We cannot now insist that the president must be mentally sound and physically sound.
Not under the.
They remove that.
They remove that.
That's interesting.
It is.
Every lunatic just break away from lunatic asylum can come and just be elected.
Well, it's very strange. It's a very strange thing to remove.
Okay.
But also in 2020, the draft had a minimum education criteria for president that the person had to have an undergraduate degree. They have removed that also.
The 20-year undergraduate at least.
Yes.
I see. So now the president. Well, maybe that can be argued to be positive because a good president may not be a degree holder. Somebody can be very smart, yet he is not a degree holder. And if you insist on degree, you might be unfair to that person.
Yes, well, it's for each Gambian to decide what they want as far as that is concerned. There's definitely benefits, and there are people who are very, very dynamic and able who don't have degrees.
Yeah, who don't have degrees.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. My only question is about process. Okay. I understand why the CRC included this, and there's a detailed
How did they justify it?
They had done a survey, and they had face-to-face interviews. They had received submissions, and the majority of the Gambians felt that they needed to be this minimum education criteria. Okay. And the report is there, as I said, 200 and something pages to look at every area that they had introduced and why. But now we don't know what. Well, we know that this is what the executive wants, but there needs to be an explanatory note to understand why. But anyway, we'll leave that opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
Then also, in the 2020 draft, if you submit a false declaration of your assets to the IEC, to the Anti-Corruption Commission, yes. So, for example, you mislead the Anti-Corruption Commission, you hide some properties, or you don't declare your income.
Yes, you under-declare.
That can disqualify you. If that is found subsequently, it can disqualify, even after you are elected, it can disqualify you.
From presidential candidate downwards?
For presidential candidates.
Okay.
They have removed that.
Oh,
so essentially you can make a false.
So anybody can come and say, even if you own 100 property and said, I only have one, and now you will not be accountable if it is found to be false.
Exactly.
Wow, that is definitely the that reduces the mechanism to check the integrity of people who are aspiring to become our leaders.
Well, basically, and this is why some of these changes are a bit embarrassing, because it's very hard to explain why you feel that the obligation of a person who wants to be president to frankly and openly, transparently disclose the assets, why you feel that should be taken out.
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to explain.
It's a morally, yes. It raises moral questions.